Hello, it is Zach with a podcast named Tim here with The Bad Batch, the season finale. Going to do a review of that and also just some discussions about my overall thoughts on season one and maybe some predictions on or things I'd like to see from season two, which is coming out, I believe, next year, to 2022. So please do like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff you do on YouTube. You know the deal. But let's go ahead and get into the Bad Batch episode, Kamino Lost, episode 16. We pick up, obviously right where we left off. I think it's called Topeka. I don't even know that. I probably sound like a terrible bad Star Wars fan. I always just call it Kamino. I don't call it by the city name. The city's being destroyed on Kamino, where the cloning facility takes place. And it's going into the ocean. Of course, this means that the Bad Batch have to escape. And, this is kind of the bold move of putting the water level that everyone would hate in every video game at the end of the season. But they're trying to escape and get out. And we're still unsure of Crosshair, at least at the beginning of this episode, kind of where he's going to lie with them. He is certainly not happy with Omega's role and stance and status in the group, and he makes a lot of comments about, like, oh, you're taking orders from a girl, or like, not girl as in, oh, she's a girl, more like girl as in she's a kid. But he's taking shots at the other Batchers for that. Wrecker says they would have welcomed him. Tech kind of defends him at one point, but basically he defends him, but he says he doesn't agree with him. He says, I understand you, but that doesn't mean I agree with you. Echo is still silent, but they basically have to find a way to get to the tubes that they used to get to the facility originally. At one point, they're separated with its Echo and Crosshair trapped in a room that's filling up with water. She and AZ are able to save them, all three of them, and then they again find the tubes. A monster attacks. We have to run to turn on the power to kind of scare it away, and that happens. And again, it's just kind of obstacle after obstacle, and finally we make our way back to the ship, and this is where I would say the most important part of the episode happens. We get Crosshair's decision. Basically, the Batch Hunter specifically kind of says, we're offering you a choice. Do you want to come with us? And he's like, I made my choice. I want to be with the Empire. And they're like, basically Hunter's reasoning is, they don't care about you. You're just a number. They just left you here for dead. Why would you go with them? And I think Crosshair, although he's softened a little bit, I think, and maybe we'll get his eventual redemption, but he chooses to stick with the Empire. And that was a big moment. I didn't know if I thought he might die in this episode. I should say I missed over a big part of this episode. Before they get to the ship, between the tube and the ship, they find that little secret facility that was Nala Say's medical room, and basically they get themselves in medical capsules and float up to the surface because they're able to seal them. AZ is kind of pushing them forward to make sure they don't hit debris. He almost dies. Omega jumps out and tries to save him, and then Crosshair actually saves the both of them with a shot with like a grappling hook. So forgot that part. But anyway, Crosshair decides to go with them, and I thought that was interesting because I did thought like maybe Hunter was going to sacrifice himself. I thought maybe Omega, as the older sister, would take care of her younger brothers and have to sacrifice herself, or AZ or Crosshair. I thought one of those four was going to not make it, and no one died. No, we almost had AZ go out, but it looks like he's been saved. And we had a nice callback in the episode where Omega tells Crosshair, I thought that it was just the inhibitor chip and that you were good, and basically, you could make your own choices, essentially. and that you're wrong because you made the wrong choice. And they leave. They leave him there on that platform. And then we go to Nala Se, and she's at some kind of facility with the Imperials. They have that cloning patch that is on. Seen in The Mandalorian with the cloner, or I guess assumed cloner, people that are there as well. And we, of course, the infamous tagline you hear at the end of any bad guy cliffhanger, we have big plans for you. It's always a go-to. And yeah, that's pretty much how the season ends. The batch left Crosshair, and Nala Se has the Empire's big plans for her. Overall, I thought that they should have made last week and this week, episode 15 and 16, just 1 hour-long, episode essentially, and just to make it feel bigger, because it felt a little disjointed in some respects. Like, I didn't feel like I should have taken a breather in between for the weeks. It wasn't anything that, like, last week's episode was better, I think, than this week. But overall, I thought, a decent episode, and I'm really struggling with my thoughts on this series as a whole, because part of me says, well, it's probably the best first season of one of the animated shows they've had. But also, it's just a continuation of the Clone Wars, so that kind of puts it in a weird spot. But at the same time, there's not a lot of fluff here as far as episodes, but I'd still feel like I only recommend half the episodes as far as watching in order to get the actual full story. And even when I said, like, it being the best first season, I don't see it reaching the heights of the other series. I think, to me, it's, probably Rebels number 1 right now for me, then Clone Wars. It used to be Clone Wars, but I'm rewatching Rebels now, and it is, I think it has surpassed Clone Wars. But Clone Wars, Rebels at the top, The Bad Batch, and then, below that, Resistance. I don't know what they're going to do with Season 2. If I was to guess, I think Crosshair is slowly he's going to go back, and the whole season, or at least probably the first half of the season, will be him realizing, oh, I made the wrong decision. I think we're going to get Rex's story as far as why he stopped being involved and went and, kind of hung out on that planet. They were going to save Commander Wolf. And I think we're going to see a lot more clones start to maybe fight back a little bit. Maybe led by Crosshair. I don't know. Who knows? But, and I think the thing that really has me interested, because I love Crosshair now, I think he's one of the most interesting characters, because he didn't get the immediate redemption. They're going to have to draw it out. I like that. But Nala Se and what they're going to do with her has me the most intrigued, because we know where the series goes with Snoke and Palpatine's cloning and potentially other connections to the Mandalorian. And so the fact that they're saving Kamino scientist, and they have big plans for her, that hook, I like that hook, because I hope we get interesting answers. And we're going to get something. Just hope it's interesting. So overall, I think the series is good. Better than I thought it was going to be. But I still don't know if it's my favorite. And it's just in a weird spot. My wife, I've been watching it with her. Recently had her watch. She's not really into Star Wars that much, but we've been getting into it a lot. And she liked Clone Wars. We finished that. We're midway through season 2 of Rebels, and she's really enjoying that. But she does not like The Bad Batch at all. And I don't think she's ever watched Resistance, so I probably won't show that to her. But yeah, she's not a fan at all. I'm much more forgiving and positive about it than she is. But I think her issue is, and I'm sure this is what it breaks down with most people, is, do you like Omega as a character? And to her, she just, I don't know, she's having trouble connecting with Omega as a character. I'd be surprised if we don't see Boba Fett, given that we're about to get the Book of Boba Fett, that connection that they hinted at in the next season. and I'd like to see some more Cad Bane because he's Cad Bane. So I'm going to do some more research and maybe do a full predictions video as far as season 2 once we get some trailers for the season and a little closer. But where I'm at right now is just, it's a good series. I don't know if it's necessary as of right now, but let me know your thoughts on the episode and the series as a whole, and if you have any thoughts on where we might be going in the future. So that's this show, and gonna think about what to replace it with as far as other weekly content for Star Wars. But I'll come up with something. Thank you for checking this out, and see you next time here on a podcast named Tim. Please do check out all of our other awesome content.